Hey guys, welcome back to Larry's Garage. I have been a while since I've been on. I had COVID, and the sad part is, since I had COVID and I still ain't got my air back, not gonna make it to No Name Nationals. I may go down there and walk around and check it out, but the truck ain't no way it's ever gonna make it there. That thought dwindled away with every cough. You know, you can't lose 2 weeks on a build like this and think you're going to make it up. But there is some good news. Got my hood in. We got the hood for the fiberglass hood from US Body. I opened it up just enough to get the shirt out. I have not looked the hood over, so this will be an unboxing video. You guys will get to see it just the same as I do. Hopefully it's good and don't make me mad. But need to be honest about it. You know, if we're going to do this, I don't want you guys to see what we get. All right, let's get this thing opened up. Well, I guess I need a pair of scissors if I want to open this, or a knife. That don't look great, but it's not making any quick judgments. Looks like the corners have been nicked a little bit. Not bad. It's a raceway hood. This is not their heavyweight hood that most of you guys would buy. It's supposed to be a pin-on hood. And we may build a bracket to make it where it's not a pin-on hood. There's going to be some trimming to do to it. That's just part of this. Don't think you're going to buy a raceway hood and it fit perfect right off the bat. It just ain't going to happen. This hood, you're talking $700. But if you just seen me pick it up, it weighs nothing. Yeah, you're gonna need a little trimming. that's all right. I knew what I was getting when I bought it. Race weight stuff. It doesn't have a lot of core to it to keep it shape. So I'll have to make, what I would do is I'll make an aluminum frame that goes across the back. It'll help hold its shape, and aluminum brackets that come so far forward and that'll hinge to it. Because the raceway hood is supposed to be just a pin-on. Zeus fasteners, and you crank it down, which is great. It's great for racing, but you end up, that's the word I'm looking for. You end up getting them beat up, scratched up from lifting them off and on all the time. I want it for the weight. This is not a big deal though. Part of building the truck. Let me grab that grill shell, see how it. Well, we got our work cut out for us. It is what it is, guys. Yeah. Race weight stuff's race weight stuff. You know what you're getting when you buy it. I'll make it fit better, I'll make it look better. You guys tell me, I've not had any experience at all with their heavyweight hoods. If any of you have, and you like them, let me know. I knew a race weight hood was not going to fit great. Let me know what you guys have found out. All right, buddy. Anyway, see how the body lines lined up. We'll get that. Hard to tell, trying to do it, but move it by yourself. Looks like my front end needs to go that way. We'll get it worked out. All right. Now, I put a little thing out there about what you guys would like me to go over. Johnny Boost Ledford, you mentioned a 4-link kit for the back of one of these trucks. And I've kicked it around. It's kind of like my radius bar kit. I thought they would sell when I built them. They have sold, but they're not burning the world up. And I'm not really making any money at it. So I'm not going to stop making them. But okay, if I built them, I'd have to know that I could sell them. I have an ideal in my head how to build one that the front mounting system would be pre-built, and all you'd have to do on the front on your frame would be remove your original rivets out of your original spring mount, bolt in 4 bolts, clean the frame out, bolt in 4 bolts, and then perimeter weld a 1/4-inch plate that it's all the way around it, and it would be mounted. pretty simple ideal, and then I'd have to make up rear end plates and you would have to weld them on. Now, it really wouldn't be that complicated. I don't know what the price would be on it. And if you guys are interested, let me know. I mean, I'm not against building anything, but I need to know that I'm going to make a little money. Cause I thought the radius bar thing was going to blow up. There were a bunch of people wanted them, and some people have bought them that wanted them. And I get it. $500, $600 or $650 for a kit. I understand. I'm a working class guy too. I know what it's like to spend money. Oh, but you know, it's not a complicated kit. You could do a 4-link on this with a panhard bar. Now mine's 9-inch Ford and leaf spring, but it would not be hard to build a 4-link kit with a panhard bar and build something you could put on it. And you guys probably can look in the aftermarket and find something you can adapt to fit it. This would just be somewhat easier. You know, you'd take your original mount off, bolt these on, and then weld the perimeter, weld them because they'd have to be welded. And then weld the mounts on there, cut the original spring pad off the rear end and put the mounts on it. Not easy, but not impossible. The other thing, I had a lot of you guys ask if I'm going to sell the rack and pinion kit. Let's go over this a little bit. I'm going to give you some of why and what and when on all this. Now, the radius bar kit I built, it cures something. You know, it works and it cures something. It fixes a caster issue we have from lowering these trucks. It don't fix the bump steer. It don't fix any of that stuff, but it fixes the caster issue. And if yours happen to you lower it and it got a lot of caster, you'll find out the minute you back up and you hear it start dragging the front tires. When you turn hard, you'll hear the front tires start to squeal. That's telling you got a little excessive caster. That's what the kit was designed to fix. Now, that being said, let's talk a little engineering. And no, I'm not an engineer, but I understand a little bit of how they design a front suspension to work. You know, I wish I had my black marker still. It would show up better. Oh, it's working. Okay. When they build these, when they're building a front suspension. All right. When the engineers are designing a front suspension, the first thing they come into is they have 3 lines. Now, I guess I need a better marker. They have 3 lines. They have and they all intersect out here in no man's land at the exact same point. Now what the 3 lines represent is your upper ball joint, your outer tie rod end, and your lower ball joint. And back here at an angle you have your upper A-frame mount, inner tie rod end, and your lower A-frame mount. They go in at an angle. That's how it's engineered. That's how it's meant to work. Now this point could be 40 feet the other side of the car, but it's an imaginary line. It's how they engineer them. When we lower these trucks with a van lower control arm, or we cut the springs, or any one of those things, the effect we have is this. We change the angle so that this don't line up anymore. That throws the geometry off in the front end, which causes bump steer. Now, my rack and pinion kit does not fix that. You've seen the video where I did it, and I actually since then have taken it completely apart, and I did my rebound, and I had like a little over around 1/8 in my extension. I got 6 inches of extension, but in my 3 inches of rebound, it pulled it over 1/4 in. So it's going to have bump steer. I expect that. I know it's going to have it. That's natural for these trucks if you lower them with van control arms. Nothing about a rack's going to fix it. And that's why I'm not sure I want to sell rack kits, honestly. Because if you buy that kit from me, you're going to expect it to fix it. Something that it can't fix. It'll give you quicker steering. You know, it'll make it free, get rid of the free play in the front end, but it's not going to get rid of the bump steer. Yeah. And I have seen guys, you'll hear guys say, flip the tie rod in down to here, down to the bottom side, and straighten that line back out. Well, you're straightening that one, you ain't fixing that one, you ain't fixing that one, you're not fixing the geometry. It may help a little, but it's not going to fix it. I have seen guys literally do this, have a upper tie rod end, the inner tie, or the outer tie rod in, the inner tie rod in, and then they'll do something like weld this, Z it down, and then weld it straight again. And said, oh, I fixed it. No, guys, you didn't fix it. Because the geometry of that front end, when you're turning that steering wheel and it's pulling, is still pulling at this angle. It does not matter if you went out here and down here, it's still going to pull from there, from the pivot point to the pivot point. You know, and I'm not dogging anybody, I just have seen people say it. It does not work that way. It doesn't matter if you make it's Z here, 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 here. It does not matter. It's still going to reach from that point to that point. You know, it may clear something you need to clear, but that ain't going to matter. It's going to pull from pivot point to pivot point. Now, as long as we're still using van control arms and we're doing the cheap lowering, that's what's going to happen. That's why drop spindles are so awesome, because you can keep the original geometry and just move the spindle up. So how do we fix this? Well, I've seen guys use the Dakota spindles. I don't know if that's a cure. I've not got into the geometry of it to figure out if it's right. It would have, you know, there's a lot into spindle on how far the tie rod in, the ball joint set in for inclination under the steering. A whole lot goes into all that. There are ways you could do it. You could call the Roadster shop, spend $30,000, buy a C10 chassis, which has a 115-inch wheelbase just like these trucks, and set your Dodge down on that chassis. You could buy a QA1 front subframe and maybe modify the frame somehow and get it to set in there. I have an ideal for how to build a cradle that would fit one of these frames correctly and convert it to QA1 metric car, which is Monte Carlo, you know, what is it, 77 through 87 Monte Carlo, Pontiac, all those. It would use those upper and lower control arms. That way you could use QA1 tubular control arms, top and bottom. You'd be able to use drop spindles that they make for those, because they actually make them. Coilovers, you could do a lot of stuff with that. The reason that these things aren't made, I went to the Southern Illinois Truck Nationals last weekend, and there were 7 Dodge trucks, and there must have been 150, 200 C10s. QA1 isn't going to want to make a kit they can't sell. I had no problem making me a kit. Eventually I will, because I want to try it. I want to build one of these kits for my Ram Charger. I had no problem building me a kit. And I would love to be able to build you guys kits, but this is all really just a matter of what we can afford. I mean, trying to come up with the best way of saying this. Guys, I like building this stuff. I do. It's my hobby. And doing the YouTube thing is my hobby. I would like to make building stuff my business, but we'll see how that goes. We're still going to offer the kits, the radius arm kits. I'm not going to stop selling them. I may one day build a rack. If you contact me and you let me know that you understand that I'm not fixing the bump steer, you just want to speed up your steering, well, then maybe we can talk about building you a kit for rack and pinion. But if you're wanting a kit and you think it's going to be the cure-all and be-all of your rack and pin, your bump steer, no, it's not. It's not going to fix it. All right, guys. Have a good night. Be safe. Keep figuring on them. Like I said, I ain't mad at US body. It's a race weight hood. I'll have to play with the fit and finish, and I'll let you know more about that when I start getting into the fit and finish on it. Race weight stuff is race weight stuff. If I can make it look better, I will, because that ain't quite as good looking as I like. But there's things I can do to fix it. Little framing, few adjustments. Looks like it's fairly straight though, guys. It ain't warped or wavy, which is really surprising. That little bit of warp back there, that's to be expected. I guess you'll see how it fits as I see how I get it to fit. Well, anybody, you want to make work for yourself, use race weight stuff on your truck. But that hood's 20 pounds. The original one, even after I butchered it, cut all the guts out of it, was 50, so it probably had to be close to 70. You guys tell me, what's a stock hood weigh? I don't have one to weigh. All that weight off the nose will make this truck get up and go. All right, guys. Have a good night. Later.